Hey folks, I'm Melhorn. In this video, I'm going over 5 things that every boater needs to have on their boat, and most of you have never thought of them. Alright folks, the items I'm talking about are some things that you probably not thought of. I'm not talking about fire extinguishers or life jackets or any of those common, emergency items that you need. These are some little things, and these are some things that are not that expensive to have around, and most of all, they don't take up a lot of room. But they're things that when you need one of them, you're going to be glad that you have it. The first one is aluminum foil. That's right, tin foil, Reynolds wrap, whatever you want to call it. It is an item that is very handy to have on a boat. I'm going to give you a few uses for where this stuff comes in handy. If you're like me and you have some of the lights on your boat that have the 2 prongs on them that plug into a socket, they're basically removable. I know a lot of you have your lights hardwired onto a boat, but a lot of these lights are just ones that plug into a little socket, has a little rubber cap over it, and they're very convenient. You can take them on, take them off. One of the things that always happens with these lights is the connections wear out. And you will plug it in, the light will be working just fine, but it won't come on. What you can do is take some aluminum foil, a little bitty piece of it, and cram it down into the holes on that light. And what it will do is it will establish that connection so that the prongs on the boat meet up with the leads that are inside of that light post, and your light will work. Now, it's not a long-term fix. I suggest you get the issue fixed. But if you're out on the water, say it gets dark, and you need those running lights to get you back, it's a good quick fix. Now, another emergency use for that aluminum foil is to jump a fuse. And what I mean by that, depending on what kind of boat you have and what type of fuses you have on it, if you happen to blow a fuse, something that will get you back until you can repair it is to use aluminum foil to complete that circuit. If you have the little glass fuses on your boat for anything, if that fuse gets blown, you don't have an extra one, you can wrap that fuse in aluminum foil and it will work. It will establish the connection that will get you back. Again, this is not something you want to do on the long term because the fuse is in there for a reason, because something has overloaded it and it's an overload protection. But if it means that your lights are going to work, or maybe you need to get a bilge pump working, it's something that can work temporarily to get you fixed until you can get it repaired. Now, another thing for you guys that are fishermen is, believe it or not, you can wad up a piece of tinfoil into a ball and it will float. Well, what would you use that for? You can actually use it for a bobber. If you're out there and you're trying to catch some brim or bluegill and you go, man, I don't have a bobber anywhere around, you can actually wad up a little piece of tinfoil onto your line and it will work as a makeshift bobber. Another little item to have on the boat comes in very handy for a lot of different stuff, and that is electrical tape. Now, why do I say electrical tape and not some other kind of tape? Well, I think one, electrical tape comes in a nice little small convenient roll that you can stow away somewhere. The other thing, because of the material that it's made out of, I think it works a little bit better than duct tape or like a Scotch tape or something like that. One of the things I use it for a lot is, well, I fish a lot and deal with fish, deal with hooks, deal with knives, and I get little cuts, abrasions, and tears. It's a great way to patch something up. A lot of times we get what we call striper thumb or fish finger from handling fish, the abrasive inside of their mouth from holding them and lipping them, and you can, if your fishing's good, get some torn up hands. So it's a great way to wrap a place up on your hand and just kind of keep it protected. Now, for some more serious injuries, say you get a cut with a knife or from a fin or something happens, it's a great little tool for mending a wound until you can get it treated better. There's been many times I've gotten cut or stuck and taking a piece of a paper towel, covered the wound up, use electrical tape around it, and you can continue fishing until you get that taken care of. So get a roll of electrical tape. There's hundreds of other uses on the boat for it. Little things that you will think of and come across and you go, man, I got some electrical tape, that'll fix it. Another cheap item to have on the boat, readily available, and something you can get anywhere and it doesn't take up any space, and that is zip ties. I love having zip ties around. As a fisherman and somebody who anchors a boat a lot, we have anchors that are designed to break away if they get snagged up. And what that means is if you throw an anchor out, it gets caught on a rock or limb, and you're pull, that anchor, for a lot of people, is stuck. They have to cut the rope. They can't get it loose. But the way our anchors are designed, we attach the rope. It is actually tied to the back of the anchor, the bottom of the anchor, and it is zip tied to the top of it. So what happens is you're able to go in the opposite direction that your boat is anchored. Pull. It'll break the zip tie, and it'll pull it out from the end where the anchor is actually snagged up at. Now, we keep them on the boat for that for obvious reasons, but there are tons of other reasons when zip ties come in handy. Usually it's some kind of makeshift repair, maybe holding some hoses or wires together temporarily. Sometimes you have a hose clamp on the fuel line that will come rusted or bust loose or something, and you have to do an emergency repair. A zip tie, if you don't have an extra hose clamp for a fuel line, will hold it until you can get back and get it repaired. It's great for bundling stuff together. If you have a whole bunch of fishing rods or different items, say you have a bunch of floats or something like that on a boat, you can zip tie them together to kind of keep the stuff kind of organized in one place. Get you a pack of zip ties. The great thing is they come in different sizes. You can get giant ones, you can get little bitty ones. Get something in the middle, because if you need several of them, you can always string them together to make a big one. Another item that has lots of uses on the boat isn't that big. It's one of the bigger items here, but it's got a lot of uses and may actually save your life. And that is a 2-gallon bucket. Now, you're asking, why a 2-gallon bucket and not a 5-gallon bucket? Well, again, the room and the amount of storage space it takes up is a lot easier with a 2-gallon bucket. The other thing about a 2-gallon bucket is because of its size, it can help you out when it comes to bailing. If your boat takes on water, say you take on a big wave, a big wake boat goes by and you take some water into the boat, you forget the plug, you're getting water in the boat, bilge pump can't keep up, whatever. The 2-gallon bucket is able to get into smaller areas to get that water out much easier than a large 5-gallon bucket. And again, you can tuck it away somewhere a lot easier. The other thing for some people, especially if you have kids or ladies on the boat, you got to take a pee break sometimes. You're on a crowded lake, lots of people around, can't get to the shore, can't get to a restroom somewhere. You can use the bucket for the emergency bathroom breaks while out on the water. So 2-gallon bucket, it can save your life and it can work as a temporary bathroom. The last thing to have on your boat, even if you do not fish at night or go boating at night, is a flashlight. I suggest a headlamp. Even if you're not planning to be out there at night, it's good to have a flashlight. One, it's great for looking in compartments up underneath a console if you're working on something, maybe into a motor area so you can see what you're doing. The other thing is emergencies happen and stuff happens out there on the water, and you may find yourself out on the water when you're not planning to be out there after dark, and say you have a motor breaks down, runs out of fuel, you're not around people where you can get help. Having a flashlight is handy, one, for signaling somebody where you're at, but also if you're out there and you're not planning to be on the water and your boat's not equipped to be on there after it gets dark. Obviously, not having lights could be a problem, so that is something that will keep you safe. So keep a small headlamp on there. A good tip is to take the batteries out of it and keep them stored in a bag with it. What can happen is if you're not using a flashlight or any type of battery powered device regularly and it's just stowed away somewhere, corrosion can build up on those battery connectors over time if you're not using it, and then all of a sudden you pull it out to use it and you're going, wow, it doesn't work. The connectors are corroded up. So keep the batteries out of it, keep them stored so they're not touching separately, and that flashlight will be something you'll be glad you have on the boat. Well, there you go, folks. That's 5 down and dirty little items to have on the boat that can make your next outing convenient. I'll have you some more of these. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll catch you out on the water. Well, folks, if you made it this far, thank you for watching. Here are a couple more videos that I think you're going to like. I'd watch that one and then that one. No, do that one first and then that one. I don't know. Just watch them both. They're both good.